What you're seeing right now is AI using my actual browser to search things, typing things in, clicking around. Amazing. And it's all completely free. Currently, I'm using OpenAI's ChatGPT, but you could use DeepSeek, and I'll show you how. So, in today's video, we're gonna essentially set this up. So, as you'll have heard, Operator AI has been released by OpenAI. Operator AI being essentially a browser LLM. So, like an AI agent. You ask it to go and do something like buy some groceries for some recipes, and it'll go and find the recipes, find the store, buy the stuff, buy it, and get it delivered. Right? Well, the problem is it's $200 a month, and I can't even get it because I live in the UK. So for the next like probably 6 months, maybe longer, it wouldn't even be available here. However, we have browser use, which is essentially Operator AI. The only difference is it's completely free, it's open sourced, and you just plug in whichever OpenAI model you want. Meaning you could locally run DeepSeek, which I show in my previous video. I'll vaguely cover how to do it today. But you could run locally DeepSeek, or you could just use the normal API, and then you could put that into web browser and do it completely free, completely locally, so you don't have to worry about anything other than AI controlling your browser. But anyway, so how do you do all this? Well, first things first, we want to clone this repo, so web UI. There's a GitHub repository, place you store code, and in here, it's got all the different bits and bobs. You can watch a demo if you want, but it has installation options. So, first things first, download Python. Once you've done that, if you're on a Mac, I recommend using Brew. If you're not, if you're on Windows, use Chocolate. Just download Python. Then after that, you want to set up a virtual environment so that you can install the dependencies. You then activate the virtual environment, install the dependencies using pip install requirements, and then install Playwright. I don't know if I actually had to install Playwright because initially it broke my machine. So then I tried to use the Docker installation, but I'll show you. Or no, I closed it down. Well, it took over 2,000 seconds, however long that is, and then I killed it. I was like, that's taking way too long. So anyway, you run those commands, and I'll come here to terminal and show you. So I have web UI cloned. The way you do it is you just get clone, and then you copy and paste from up here, code, copy that there, then you'd paste that in here, and then that would then get this entire repo. And then the next thing you want to do is clear the screen. So we're wanting to create a virtual environment so that we can install the dependencies, because these dependencies are other Python libraries, and you don't want them just cluttered around your computer. You want them contained just for WebI, hence the environment. So I would do Python 3 -m venv VM. So this is creating a virtual environment called venv. And then to get into it, you do source venv /bin, which is binary, /activate, and that activates your virtual environment, and then you're inside it. I might accidentally be inside the virtual environment, but I don't know. Probably should be fine. And then you go pip install -r requirements, and then I'll install all the requirements. I've already installed it, so they're there. And then after that, what we do is the final one, which is to run it locally on your machine. This here. So, what was it gone? Python web UI.py IP and port. So IP address, computer address, port is one of your locations to access your computer. So an in or out port. This IP address 127.0.0.1, this is actually your local host. So this is how you reference your own machine. So if I was to do that, site can't be reached because it is my own machine. And every single computer's 127.0.0.1 goes back to your own machine. So don't worry, you're not going to be hacked by using it. 7788 is just the port. So that's fine. There's loads of ports and that one is not a standard one as far as I'm aware. So anyway, copy that, paste it in here. And then this will run, there we go, it will run this browser web UI. So running on local URL here, so you can either command and click or copy and paste it. We'll copy it. Go over here. That will be this one here. And paste it in like that. And boom. Browser use web UI. So control your browser with AI assistance. So first we're in agent settings. We'll just use custom. Max run steps 100. That's fine. These are just defaults. Default. Fine. Use vision. Yes. Use tools, calls, and content. Yes. And then we go to the LLM configurations. And so this here is where you can use a bunch of LLM providers. For example, Anthropic, OpenAI, DeepSeek, Gemini, Ollama, and Azure OpenAI. So out of all of these here, Ollama is actually the one where you can run it locally. So for example, I have Ollama running locally, but when I tried to actually run it here, it was causing an error and I couldn't figure out what the problem is. If I figure it out, I'll put it in the description. Otherwise, if someone else knows, put it in the comments. But I couldn't get it to work. But if you were to make it work, I'll try to get it to work. You have to give a base URL. So this is where to go for the API endpoint. Because it would be running locally, it would be here, localhost 11434. We'll just put it as this and see if it actually works. Because this is your base URL for your Ollama instance, which will be running locally. So you can see I have Ollama running here. Now, how does that work? So let's go and show you right now. So if you were to just briefly to do it, you would go to ollama.com, click download. This would download Ollama, which gets you up and running with large language models. Then once you've downloaded it, you would go to say DeepSeek, the brand new DeepSeek, and you can do Ollama run DeepSeek-R1. And then once you've written that, you do Ollama serve. That's serve. Like so. And then what that would do is that would then make it available for you to use it through this API endpoint. API endpoint basically just a way to get access to data. So we have that base URL, that's in there. Next, browser settings. So you can either use your own browser or uncheck that if you don't want it to have any access to your stuff. For me, that's fine. And then you have a bunch of other stuff here. Window with recording path. So this is when it runs, it saves a recording and where do you want it to go. So it will go into results and it will save a recording. I don't have any in here, but that's what you'd have seen at the beginning of the video was my recording from my last session. And then the exciting part. So run agent. So this is the task you would tell it to do. So the basic task that it pre-populates is go to Google and type in OpenAI, click search, and give me the first URL. So let's click run agent. And yeah, I don't think it will work with this Ollama stuff. Yeah, I don't know why that is. If you know that error, let me know why, but I couldn't fix it. And I can't see anyone on YouTube using Ollama. Apparently you're supposed to, you can. So instead I'm going to use OpenAI, the normal ChatGPT 4.0 model, which means we can remove that base URL, but it will mean we'll need an API key. So for any of these other than Ollama, because they're going to be hosted online and not on your computer, you will need an API key. For OpenAI, if you need an API key for any of them, just type in Google Anthropic API key, DeepSeek API, Gemini API, whatever it is. For OpenAI, I have open here. Now, your API keys, don't share them with anyone. It's essentially your key personally for you to access the platform. And a lot of these platforms, you have to pay, and you don't want that key getting leaked and then you're charged a bunch of money because someone else decided to use it. So anyway, here you would create a new secret key up top on API keys. So platform.openai.com/API keys. Create a new secret key. We'll name it Web UI, default project, that's fine. Permissions, all. Create a secret key. Now this one here, you'll be able to see, but I will delete it before I upload this video. Click on copy, click done, and now it'll be gone forever. You won't be able to see it again. You can use it, but you can't see it. So if we come back here, let's paste this in. It's better to use this .env if you can, because then you can save it locally to your system, and then you'll have it there. Instead of just want to paste it here, it's gone forever. But not to worry because they're just keys, you can just get another one. So now that that's in, let's scoot back to run agent. We'll click run. And there we go, it's starting to process. Woohoo! Then we'll pop it open here. This is the model doing all of this. My hands are here. So before you continue to Google has popped up, You can see the little boxes popping up. That's it recognizing what's on the screen. And then before you continue, it's been able to get through there, which is cool. It's now highlighting everything on the screen to see, right, what is each component, and then typing in, and then it should search it. Let's see. Da, da, da. There we go, it's going through. And it's seen more stuff, and then it'll figure out where to go. And do you know something that was pure cool is just before this, I was doing one on LinkedIn, and it got to the capture point. Oh, there's me. It must be almost done then. All done. Yeah, so the processing stopped using browser. But just before we go to the results tab, it ended up a captcha popped up, and I was able to just click on the screen, do the captcha, and then it continued on, which is mental. But it does sometimes get stuck in a loop there. But now, if we go to results, you can now see the latest recordings here, and below that final result, the first URL from the Google search is this here. So it has the result, and we could watch back the playback of what exactly happened. So there you go, it's seen all that, and it just accepted them or rejected them. It then moves on to the next bit and types stuff in, opens it up, identifies everything, and gets the URL. I mean, that's so cool. And you can see here the model thoughts, which is cool, and then the model actions as well. So you could actually trace, did it click it? For example, did it click reject or did it click accept? Let's see. So 4 and 5. You can see click element index 5. So it accepted the cookies or whatever it is. So that's the basic one. Let's see what we can try and get it to do.